Hi, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do Advanced Vocabulary Builder, lesson number 131. We'll go through 10 advanced words and talk about their definitions, parts of speech, and review a couple of examples for each. We'll finish with a story so you can hear the words in context and do a quick review. This is a series, so if you like this video, subscribe for more. Also, I started releasing a word of the day via shorts, so please check that out. Let's get started. First, I'll read the words: imposing, prolific, dilemma or dilemma, imprudent, facilitate, consummate, deference, listless, counterargument, acquisition. First, imposing. This means grand and impressive in appearance. It's an adjective. So if someone is imposing, they might literally take up a lot of space and be quite large and command attention in a room because of that. Take, for example, Hagrid, who was quite imposing to those small children in the context of Harry Potter. However, you might also have someone who has ornate clothes or a uniform or an aura of confidence and authority. All of those things can contribute to someone being imposing. And also, this word doesn't necessarily have to be describing a person. Anything can be imposing. Examples are: the castle's imposing structure cast a long shadow over the village. She wore an imposing uniform that commanded respect. Prolific. This means of a plant, animal, or person producing much fruit or foliage, or many offspring as an adjective. Present in large numbers or quantities, plentiful as an adjective. So this word can be used in a lot of different ways. It can be in the context of reproduction. So rabbits tend to be quite prolific. They have a lot of babies. Those babies have babies, and there are rabbits that are very plentiful, especially where I live. However, we don't necessarily need to be speaking about reproduction or plants producing fruit. Rather, we can talk about the impact someone has. Meryl Streep, I would argue, is a very prolific actor. She's been in many different movies, TV shows, but mainly movies, and she's had a huge impact throughout her career. So definitely prolific. Examples are: she was a prolific writer, publishing over 30 novels in her lifetime. The trees in the apple orchard were prolific, having produced fruit for 3 generations. Dilemma or dilemma. This means a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between 2 or more alternatives, especially equally undesirable ones. So a time I faced a dilemma was when I was teaching, and I had a student who was late on their work many times throughout the semester, and they were close to failing. So at the end of the semester, they came to me and apologized profusely, explained the challenges that they were having in their personal life, and asked to submit that late work. So the dilemma I was facing was, do I make an exception and allow the student to get caught up, or do I enforce the rules? Neither option was good, because bending the rules to favor a student isn't quite fair to the other students. Also note that this word can be pronounced in 2 ways, and as a native speaker of American English, I hear them interchangeably. Examples are: he faced a dilemma about whether to stay at his job or pursue his dream. She felt torn in the dilemma between helping her friend and following the rules. Imprudent. This means not showing care for the consequences of an action, rash as an adjective. So something that's imprudent is, in short, a bad idea. If a student decides to go out and party the night before final exams instead of study, that would definitely be an imprudent decision. Examples are, it was imprudent to invest all his savings in one risky venture. The imprudent decision to ignore the weather forecast led to disaster. Facilitate. This means make an action or process easy or easier as a verb. So to facilitate a dialogue is to essentially mediate that dialogue in a way that empowers all of the parties to speak and help the dialogue flow naturally. As a trainer, sometimes we'll use the word facilitator to refer to someone who's leading a class. And using that word is a gentler word choice than teacher or instructor. However, often they're used interchangeably in that context. Examples are, the new software will facilitate better communication between departments. They hired a mediator to facilitate the negotiations. Consummate. This means showing a high degree of skill and flair, complete or perfect as an adjective. Note there's an additional way to pronounce this word, and it has an alternate meaning when used as a verb. So you'll notice one of the examples has the phrase consummate professional, and I've certainly heard that before. Someone who is really, really good at what they do would be a consummate professional. Take, for example, gymnast Simone Biles. She is certainly consummate in her field. She is almost completely perfect in everything she does, and she's one of the few gymnasts who has achieved perfection many times. Examples are, he is a consummate professional who always delivers quality work. The chess champion made a consummate move to win the game. Deference. This means humble submission and respect as a noun. So young people should show deference to their elders. That is a common practice in many cultures. We show respect to our elders and we defer to them in decision making and listen to them. In a workplace, there's often the expectation that subordinates show deference to their bosses and respect the hierarchy of the business. Examples are, he spoke to the elder with quiet deference. They treated the judge with the utmost deference. Listless. This means lacking energy or enthusiasm as an adjective. So when someone's sick, they might be listless. They might be tired. They might be laying on the couch. They might lack energy completely. I know there have been times in my life where my pets have been listless. And if I have a dog that's acting listless, I'll probably take that dog to the vet. Examples are, she felt listless after several sleepless nights. The child sat listless on the couch, uninterested in toys or games. Counterargument. This means an argument or set of reasons put forward to oppose an idea or theory developed in another argument as a noun. So a counterargument is an argument that goes against the argument previously made. In the context of a debate, often the flow will be that one party gets to make an argument and the second party gets to make a counter argument, and then there's a structured exchange. So to oppose an argument and to offer a counterpoint is to make a counter argument. Examples are, she raised a strong counter argument during the debate. He listened patiently before presenting his counter argument. Acquisition. This means an asset or object brought or obtained, typically by a library or museum, as a noun. An act of purchase of one company by another as a noun. Buying or obtaining an asset or object as a noun. The learning or developing of a skill, habit, or quality as an adjective. So you can see In all of these many definitions, this word acquisition means getting something. So Google, a big company, might go through the acquisition of a particular AI company in order to leverage that company in their operations. However, you can also use this word in smaller settings. So the acquisition of new technical skills is really important to me personally, and that's something I'm always striving for. Examples are, the company celebrated the acquisition of a major competitor. Language acquisition is easier in early childhood. So let's read through a story so that we can hear these words in context. Savannah stood beneath the museum's vaulted ceilings, staring at the shipment manifest. The crates held works by Elias Clark, an imposing, prolific writer whose name drew both awe and suspicion. His offer was simple: donate his private collection, valued in the millions, and facilitate the museum's rise to national prominence. The dilemma? She had uncovered an imprudent detail in the documentation, a forged signature on one key acquisition from decades ago. Her mentor urged deference, reminding her of the museum's tight budget and dwindling attendance. "You'll regret saying no to this," he warned, voice tight. But Savannah couldn't ignore the risk. She feared that accepting them would undermine her reputation as a consummate professional. In staff meetings, the discussion grew heated. One counterargument came from a fellow curator who looked perpetually listless, but now spoke with rare intensity. "We can't claim integrity while hiding what we know," she said. Savannah nodded. "Clark's art deserves the world's eyes, but not at the cost of truth." In the end, she drafted a letter declining the donation and explained her reasons. She hadn't chosen the easy path, but she had chosen her own. So let's review these words quickly, and I'll spell as we go. Imposing, IMPOSING, means grand and impressive in appearance. Prolific, PROLIFIC, is producing a lot of fruit, foliage, or offspring, or present in large numbers or quantities. Dilemma or dilemma, DILEMMA, is a situation with a difficult choice or a difficult problem. Imprudent, IMPRUDENT, is not showing care for the consequences of an action. Facilitate, FACILITATE, is to make something easier. Consummate, CONSUMMATE, as an adjective, is showing a lot of skill or flair. Deference, DEFERENCE, is showing submission and respect. Listless, LISTLESS, is lacking energy or enthusiasm. Counterargument, COUNTERARGUMENT, is an argument that opposes the argument made prior. Acquisition, ACQUISITION, is something that's bought or obtained, or the acquiring of something. So again, those words are imposing, prolific, dilemma or dilemma, imprudent, facilitate, consummate, deference, listless, counterargument, acquisition. Great job today. There are other videos like this on this channel, and more are coming soon. I'll put playlists and videos right here, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.